child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin. Hey, I'm Christine.
I'm Jada.
And this is 50 Shades of Bullshit.
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
I'm fucking great.
I can see it.
Well, I'm kind of, hold on, I got to raise my thing here.
You're in a different space. You're in a different.
I am. I'm at my boyfriend's house this week, so I'm podcasting from his room. Yeah. So it's a show about calling people out on their bullshit, and I had some bullshit happen to me today. Somebody came at me on Facebook today with no facts straight.
About what?
Well, it's a long story. I'll try to condense it. We had a party back in June for all of us people who do dating professionals, and Barry was invited. And by the way, Barry's our guest today. Barry was invited and he was unable to come, and I was giving him a hard time. I was razzing him. Right before I started razzing him, another dating coach / matchmaker who happens to go on Facebook and Instagram and bash her clients constantly calling out her clients and saying what a shit show they are constantly. It's horrible. It's embarrassing for her and her clients. I don't know why her clients don't sue her for the bullshit, but she came at me.
Oh, Christine.
She came at me. And she was like, how dare you publicly humiliate me in front of everybody? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. That message wasn't for her. It was for Barry. Janice tells her the message wasn't for her. It was for Barry. She ignores it. She wants to have drama. So she came at Janice and I, and we ignored her. We just ignored her because we don't need the drama. Well, on Facebook today, she came at me, and she came at me hard.
Is this someone that I know, by the way?
Okay. Probably. Okay. And I pretty much told her she doesn't know who she's coming at, to back the fuck up, that I have a live mic. And I told her, I said, you may think that my podcast is some piddly little thing, but K4HD radio is not. Where we are broadcasted live, has 90 million subscribers and 300 million listeners. And I said,
holy shit,
bitch, I can say whatever I want to say. And if you're going to come at me, we can talk. She was accusing me of being childish. And, she accused me of attacking her, which I did not do. I said message was for Barry. It was a joke. Get off your high horse. And she sent me a message telling me that I forget she knows where I live, that she has my address.
Stop it.
Yep. She said that she was going to go to the police. And I'm actually looking at her message right now. She said that she's going to have a case against me for harassment, defamation of character, stalking, and threatening. I haven't talked to this CUNT since June. And
okay, so can I just say we're going to talk about this offline because I think I know who it is.
And she better shut the fuck up.
Right. That's why I'm saying we'll talk.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
She's a lunatic, and I told her she should check into a mental institution and get her shit together and leave me alone. I'm not the person to fuck with. I'm the nicest person in the world. I'll do anything for almost anybody, but you piss me off. You better back your fucking shit up because I'm coming at you.
Wow. I should have logged on a little bit earlier, but I was having issues because this whole story
Yeah, it's fun times. I'll tell anybody the story. Fuck her.
Well,
Anyway,
we're going to talk offline. Happy New
we
Year.
we are. I had a great Christmas. Did you?
I did, aside from everything that's happening in my house,
Oh yeah.
it was
Yeah.
lovely. It was lovely.
Nice. I got to spend it with my girls and my grandchildren and my boyfriend and his son, and we had a great Christmas. It was really nice.
Well, I'm dating. So, I mean, there's
Oh,
that.
girl.
So
Well, we'll have to get into that
we
too.
will. I'll talk about that, but I'm glad you're at your man's house. You look happy,
Yep,
you look glowing. Your skin
I'm
is
good.
beautiful, which we all know what that means.
I'm blessed with good skin or a lot of sex, one of the two.
I'm going to go with the latter.
So today we have a repeat offender.
Oh God, Barry.
Barry is on the show today. He was such a hit on our other show that we had him on. And I just couldn't wait to have him back. So today we're actually talking about cuffing season. If anybody doesn't know what it is, you are not alone. I had no idea. I've never heard of the term, but for those like myself who do not know, cuffing season refers to a period of time where single people begin looking for short-term relationships to pass the colder months of the year. It typically begins in October and lasts until after Valentine's Day. Who the fuck does that? That's so weird.
I did a blog on it. So yes, it's a real thing.
Oh my God. Well, today we have Barry back. And let me tell you about Barry. For those of you who did not see the last episode we had Barry, I should have looked it up. But whatever. Go listen to all the shows. And if you haven't, go listen to all the shows. But Barry is an inspirational speaker, relationship expert, best-selling author, and spiritual guide. He has a passionate he's a passionate champion for the divine feminine. We love Barry. Dedicated to helping strong, successful women create greater balance in love, life, and business. He is an expert coach and guide for singles seeking relationship and self-love. He has a #1 best-selling book called 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. Yeah. He helps singles and couples embody powerful principles for passionate and richly rewarding relationships. Let's bring Barry on and have a chit chat about cuffing season.
Hi, Barry.
Hi, Barry. How are you? Oh, we lost Barry.
He's on mute.
Hit your unmute. There you go.
No, I didn't mute myself, so I forgot to unmute myself. False habit. Nice to be back. Although following what you just talked about, I'm like, do you want to start with that or you want to move on to something fresh? By the way, just one quick caveat. What she's apparently accusing you of doesn't involve the police. So having your address and threatening you with the police is totally pointless anyway. Just, add that to the conversation. Yeah.
Well, at first it pissed me off and I was like, bitch, she's going to threaten me. And then I was like, she can threaten all she wants. I read back all my messages. They're very, and what's the word I'm looking for? Innocuous? Is that the right word I'm looking for?
Clean, maybe?
They're pretty clean. I do call her a bitch and I do say, don't fuck with me. But other than that, what I said is if you fuck with me, there are consequences and be prepared for that. That's not threatening.
How loving is all this? Yes.
Isn't it fun?
Welcome, Barry.
Janice was on Facebook and could see all this shit happening today. And Janice was like, this is the greatest day of my life. She was like, Janice said, this is the best drama that I needed to watch. She goes, I'm eating popcorn over here. And she's like, you can use my name. So I was like, okay. She's like, Christine, you have more balls than anybody I know. And I said, I do.
Indeed.
Oh my gosh.
So this is the thing. Everybody is always passive aggressive to me. I don't do that well. I call it out. Also, I have been silenced my whole life. And I have been ruled by people putting me down and me staying silent because I was always worried how I would be perceived. I don't give a fuck anymore. And I have found my voice.
All
You know,
right.
I found my voice, and I can say now things to protect myself or to defend myself or to call out people who are being horrible to other people. This whole thing started today because somebody was attacking somebody else who was innocently a bystander and was calling this person out by name on social media. And I said, maybe you should take the name off. And I was attacked because I wasn't supporting a woman. And it's not about supporting a woman. It's about being fair. It is not fair to go on social media and blast a name, where he lives, what his profession is, that he's a father to boys, and not tag him or not give him a heads up. And these women were bashing the hell out of him, and he did nothing wrong.
First of all, how did I miss all of this today? Where was I?
You missed it. You missed it. Girl, you got to follow this social media shit is ridiculous. So anyway, I was defending somebody who could not defend himself, and I got attacked. And that's okay, because you know what? I did the right thing. So I feel good about it. Whatever. So Barry, I've never heard of cuffing season until you said, "Oh, do you want to talk about cuffing season?" And I was like, "There's a season where we what?"
Yes.
And today I was rolling my invisible cuffs for a fight. So I was like, "Is that what that is?"
Actually,
no.
not quite. No, and to be honest, and to be transparent, I only dug into cuffing season about 2 months ago. I heard about it like on and off over the years, but never really thought about it. But the cuffing season came up in a conversation, maybe in Clubhouse somewhere. And so it just got me thinking, what is that? So I actually looked it up for myself. And then that became the topic for this point of year, because cuffing season apparently originates from the slang idea about, you want to handcuff somebody to you so they don't run away. That's where the name comes from. But however, it's meant to be like someone to cuddle with and stay warm with during the winter months. That's kind of the whole thing. So short-term relationship, because basically most people who do that don't stay together afterwards. So they're like, it's like coming up right in the sunshine. They're like, okay, I'm done with you. I'm moving on.
That seems so bizarre to me, because wouldn't you think that somebody who, holidays have a lot of family involved.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're cuffed with somebody, they're at your family gatherings, they're at Christmas, they're at Thanksgiving, they're at New Year's, they're Valentine's Day. These are very intimate relationship style days.
Which is why they're probably not brought there, though. They're probably just kept locked up at home.
When you're being cuffed, you're not going to the family functions.
Sort of thing. No, it's more about somebody to go home to be with. When you go home to somebody warm, somebody to be with.
That sounds awful. It sounds awful.
For those of us who understand the low bar, the quality of it, it doesn't make sense to us. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
And because the work I do, especially, I'm on the same page. It's like, I don't talk about short-term relationships just to get by, to stay warm. It's like, no, if you're in a survival situation, the end of the world, maybe you want to do that, but you want to stay with them ideally till the end of the world, sort of thing.
I want somebody special for the end of the world. I don't, unless they've got an incredible dick, or they can fly me around the world before we die. Forget it. I'm on my own. I'd rather be alone and die alone than die with somebody who's just using me to stay warm.
There you go. I'm glad we covered that.
Well, but I don't think it's just to stay warm. I think it's summertime. People have those summer great bodies. They've got it's a different vibe in the summer versus the winter, right? In the winter, you want to cuddle up, you want to watch Netflix, you don't want to be out so much. And then it's like, when that time is done, you're ready for your summertime, boo. So it's crazy, but it's a thing.
So basically, you have to have a winter and a summer partner.
Right.
So what is the psychology behind this? Do you know, Barry?
It's simply that idea about someone to feel less alone during the cold months. Because the other thing is also during the winter months, it gets darker earlier, so there's less daylight. So, to be honest, depression is more common during the winter months than the summer months. And so I think a lot goes behind it. I don't have data to back this up. It's purely just my perception. It feels like when you have somebody around, you feel less lonely, you feel less depressed. So it can maybe just make yourself feel better during the time of those darkened days.
So they're essentially using somebody for their own benefit.
100%. Christy,
Absolutely.
I am certain you have had a cuffed season. You just didn't realize it was a cuffed season back in your day.
I don't, unless I'm in a long-term relationship, long time prior, I have rarely ever been with anybody during the holidays and Valentine's Day. Those months seem to be months that I am full on alone or in a long-term relationship long before that. Because like I said before, for me, it's a really special time. And if I'm with somebody, I don't want to be left out. If you're going to leave me out, we're not in a real relationship. If you're not taking me to your family gatherings for Thanksgiving, if I'm not known during New Year's Eve with your friends, then and you're not doing something special for me for Valentine's, then fuck off.
Okay.
Fair enough.
No, right though? I mean, seriously. I mean, I've never honestly heard anything like it. I've never known anything like it. I'm sitting here trying to think of any time that I've ever been in a relationship with somebody. And no, I don't think I have. If I see any inkling of them like saying, I'm sorry, I can't invite you to my Thanksgiving. Here, I'm not ready to introduce you to my family, then I'm like,
well, the thing is, so a couple of caveats on that for a second.
Okay.
When you date somebody, especially if you've gotten together with them, like maybe for Thanksgiving, as an example, you decide dating at the beginning of November. It's a bit close to the holidays. And to be honest, it may not be about introducing you to their family as much as it is about introducing their family to you. Maybe they don't expose you to what their family's like until you've been around.
Families can be real shit shows, I know.
Oh yeah. Especially when you go home and the mother's like acting like you're 3 years old. It's hard to be in a romantic relationship and stand up and be a healthy relationship when you feel like you're a kid. So
right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I don't really ever go home for the holidays because, as y'all know, in the Midwest right now, it has been so cold and it's been snowing and there's been problems with airlines. I never run the risk of being stranded in Wyoming. That is a no-go.
Right.
So I don't go home for the holidays unless I lived closer to home. I never went home for the holidays. I always go in the summertime. And I've taken a couple of people home in the last 25, 30 years. And, they happen to have been husbands. That's it. So tell me more about how people get involved in this kind of thing. How does this work?
Well, I've not done a lot of research, but I suspect it's probably for a younger generation more than a more mature generation, to be transparent. But it's something that's done more out of convenience and fun than it is out of any real depth of connection. Because the relationship, as you and I we all agree, I guess, really is something that is meant to be a commitment between two people that is deep and exploratory, and you're going where you're going to go. You don't time it. It's not like a start and finish time. Cuffing season is so the antithesis of a really healthy relationship, as far as I'm concerned. It's a relationship with convenience. It's someone to basically have pizza and beer with. It's someone to have a short-term thing, like you were saying, Jada, just to curl up with and stay nested in a way. It's like nesting with somebody temporarily. So for me, I think it's going to be if not a younger generation, certainly more immature people, generally speaking.
This gives me a feeling of deception. This makes me feel like maybe one person knows about it and the other person doesn't. Or do you think people go into this going, you know what, we're friends with benefits. Let's be together so we're not alone through the holidays. And then let's just, go our merry way at the end.
I think more the latter than the former. I think really is more about people both choosing in. And it's like cuddling and sex with benefits sort of thing. It's that friendship, but it's also let's just play together for this time. And then when we're done, we leave. I don't think it's one-sided. That would be basically horrible.
Because that's what I think of. I'm thinking, when I'm thinking about this, my idea is that I've been thinking all along that maybe it's one person going, I got to find me somebody to be with, so I'm not alone for these, this time. And then they do what they got to do to placate the person, to be with that person, and make them think that there's a relationship. And I bet that they're then dumping them, going, you know what, it just didn't work out. And then, so it's a deception.
I would say that it is a mutual thing.
Because you think it's mutual?
Yeah, because the thing is, if it's done manipulatively, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't think it comes at the heading of cuffing. Cuffing's a mutual thing, I believe.
You think so? I've never heard of it. I have got to find people who agree to cuffing. Okay, I'm going to go on a worldwide search and say, who likes to cuff?
I'm sure there must be some dating app features that let you do that, or maybe on Facebook. There's a Facebook group on coupling. On cupping.
No, I don't know that there's that. I don't know.
There's got to be something on. I mean, if you go on, probably do a Google search for like cupping in your town, there'll be someone who can talk about that.
Someone to.
Oh, she's Googling it. Oh my God.
I'm Googling.
Christine, I told you I did a blog on it, and it's such a real thing.
So tell us more about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think people, yes, they definitely want to couple up during the winter months. I
found something.
Face. Okay.
Cuffing season says cuffing season has begun. Ways to find your cuddle partner. You can go the easy route by using social media or dating apps. You could also go into the world of meet people IRL on a website. Is that what it is? I have no idea.
Yes.
At 2190.com, cuffing season.
Hang on, 2190.com is a cuffing site?
Yes, 2190.
Okay, so that's a whole other thing, because that's like a site geared for people that only want to do that.
Ways to find your cuddle buddy. All right, ladies, cuffing season is among us. We may have gotten a late start to the game, but we can still come out on top. The weather's changing, and we need someone to rub our feet on and wear matching pajamas with. This is no time for lollygagging. Have no fear. Here are some tips to find your bae this year.
No.
There's a website for this.
Insane. That's definitely not what my blog was about. I didn't even know that was a thing. But we're coming towards the end, because people want to get cuffed through Valentine's Day.
Right, generally.
Because of course, Valentine's Day, you want like your special person. But some of those relationships end up going longer, but some of them do not.
Some people, I guess. Yeah.
What was your blog about? What did you say in your blog?
That's what I was talking about. I did my blog probably back in August or September, because that's like the prime months when cuffing season begins. So it was just more or less about like cuffing season is approaching. Is this a thing? Here's what, people are doing. This is what you should look out for as far as relationships. Because some people are not as honest, and they want to only be cuffed, and then they tell you at the end, like, oh no, like I'm done. This is, you know,
like it didn't work for me.
It didn't work, but that's a lie.
It says 2190 is a website. It says it takes 21 days to form a habit and 90 days to create a lifestyle. 2190 is the one place where women of color can come together to learn about new things in beauty, wellness, and health, and find a cuffing partner.
First of all, 100% denial as a woman of color. I've never even heard of that shit. So that's some bullshit.
I know.
These are rabbit holes. You just go down the rabbit hole and you find something that's bizarre like this.
Oh my God.
I'm down a rabbit hole right now.
Oh my
God.
That's kind of funny.
Oh, here. Best dating apps and sites for cuffing season in 2022 in the UK.
Oh,
Okay, there you go.
How to find someone to date during cuffing season. This is a discussion on Elite Daily. I had no idea, Bustle, where to find a partner for cuffing season.
oh my gosh, it's crazy because I've done articles. I've done submissions for them before. So that's interesting.
Wow, interesting. Well, I find it fascinating, and holidays can be a really hard time. I mean, I have a really hard time, not going home every year because of the weather. I know that sounds really shitty, but it's a real thing. I would be stuck in Wyoming right now. I wouldn't be able to get home, and that's a big deal. And when you are a subcontractor like myself and you work based on work that comes when it comes, I have to be readily available. And I think that not going home really gets to me, and not having family around other than my kids, that's really hard for me. Holidays have been rough for years. This might be the first Christmas I haven't cried.
Aw.
It's been really hard for a long time when you're single, you're not with somebody, and I have a boyfriend now, so that makes a big difference. It distracted me from drama, but so I do understand why some people would want to be involved in cuffing if they don't want to be in a long-term relationship, but they want to have somebody to not feel so alone. I totally get that, but to me that's kind of like friends with benefits, don't you think?
In a sense, it is. I mean, because the feeling is that when you're feeling lonely around the holidays, you don't want to go home, or you can't go home, whatever that is. Finding someone to fill that need is what it really is about. So, in a sense, it is just some sort of quick fix rather than doing the deep work inside. Because, I mean, in a lot of my work, spoke about self-relationship as well. And for a lot of us, we're all referencing outside. I mean, I was too, looking for that person outside to make us feel better. And
Yeah.
during the time when it's the most, again, depressing, dark, not happy, something anyone will do, almost that feeling.
Yeah. How many Hallmark movies do we get during the holiday where somebody pays somebody to pretend to be their boyfriend or their girlfriend for the holidays, get their families off their back, and then next thing you know, they've fallen in love?
Right there.
I wonder if there's any people that start out at cuffing and fall for each other because they're spending so
I
much
think
time
so.
together.
Oh,
You
yeah.
think?
I think so.
Well, the numbers, I have
Cuffing-
no idea, but yeah, definitely.
Cuffing gone
not-
wrong?
There's definitely also ones
No,
that
cuffing
they-
gone right if they fall for each other. It's cuffing gone
Well,
right.
maybe not, because cuffing gone right would imply they would end by the time the light gets lighter in the daytime, so to speak. But I think the
Yeah.
numbers are probably, I don't know, the numbers are alike, but I'm sure there were quite a few people as well who was like, when they're done, they're so done.
They're done.
We should have had Janice on here today to see if she has any people who have come to her and said, my cuffing went awry. I fell in love and he didn't, or I fell in love and she didn't. And now I'm trying to get over them. I wonder if she's ever had that. I'm going to have to ask her.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I should put her on speaker. Hey, Janice.
Quick question.
I love it.
Barry, in the work that you do you have people that come to you with regard to like, I mean, cuffing season is random, but just minimal relationships that are very seasonal, or what? Tell me a little bit more.
I've had clients who've come to me who have been in short-term relationships because they couldn't find someone to commit to. That's different from cuffing directly. That's a whole issue about commitment issues, safety, opening up to somebody as well. The thing's been up this year, not with the clients, but a lot of people I've talked to, has been, this whole thing about going home to family. There's so many people who haven't yet resolved their relationship issues with their family. So they don't want to go home, or they don't want to go home with their partner because they don't want to put their partner through the rigmarole they go through when they go home. So that happens as well. Oh, Christine's thinking.
I know. I see it.
I just remembered
what is she
something.
gonna say?
About 4 years ago, I met someone right before Christmas at a little pub, a little like dive bar that one of my DJs for events does, like DJing at. It's like this little dive bar. And one of my best friends and I, Denise, we go dancing there. And I remember dancing there and this guy hitting on me, and we all went out for breakfast after, that 2 a.m., Denny's pancakes.
Mhm.
I felt like I was, 18 again. And I remember that we started dating through the holidays. We saw each other on Christmas Eve before we were hanging out with our kids. It was too soon to be that, like you said, Barry. It was too soon. We did New Year's Eve together, but with all of his friends, and we did Valentine's together and included his friends. And we used to go camping all the time. And right after Valentine's Day, I remember one of his best friends taking a look at him and I and going, "Oh my God, you guys are going to get married." And I could feel it in the room just go, "Whoa." And I thought, "Oh shit, he just doomed me."
Mm.
And sure enough, couple of days before my birthday, him and I were going on a cruise together for my birthday. And damned if he didn't dump me right before the cruise and took his kids on the cruise with him instead. And I just remembered that fucker could have been cuffing with me. He could have been. And I'm in there thinking it's a relationship.
Well, the thing is, I don't think necessarily cuffing is an official thing, because I think it's almost subconscious. People want to. It's like bears hibernating in caves. Humans do the same sort of thing in their homes during the winter months, and they'd rather not do it alone. So it's not based upon, okay, I need to find somebody to cuff with. It's more like, I'm feeling lonely, or I want to feel warm with somebody, or whatever that is,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And my beauty just like overwhelmed him.
But I will say it's very interesting that a lot of people, even in the matchmaking space, a lot of people don't have that cuffing season conversation. They don't want to recognize that it's cuffing season. And they don't want to have that conversation. So I think it's interesting that you say that, because people should talk about it.
Why not?
Because people do get, seasons affect us, when it's 100%, summer, you might feel more comfortable, more feeling like you want to go out and play and have fun and meet different people. It may just be because the weather's nice and you feel like doing it. In the winter, not so easy to do that.
Yeah.
So finding somebody you just become, and it is a sense of, when it's winter months, being with someone you can be basically familiar with can feel way more fun than trying to meet new people and have conquests during the summer, sort of thing, if you want to do it that way. So I think it does make sense.
Coming off of COVID right now,
I bet there was a lot of cuffing during COVID.
Well, right. I know there are articles and been reports of people who basically met right before COVID and then moved in together because they decided it was easier to do that, and then basically spent 2 years together, and now they're looking at a relationship that's going to last forever because they got really committed during that time. And there are also people who said never again, so it's, again, the spectrum is wide, and there are people who've done both, because definitely COVID was a exception to the rule, so to speak.
Prime time.
Yeah.
I can see that, because COVID was at some point scary for people and lonely, and you couldn't go out, you couldn't go anywhere. And I know that online dating was really huge at that time, with a lot of video chatting. And then some people were like, you know what, fuck it, let's just meet up, let's just hang out, let's go for a walk. Do you know how many times guys would text me and say, hey, you want to go for a walk? And I was like, I have to get out of the house. Yeah, let's go. And I can see that. I can see where people may have, decided. I know for a fact my boyfriend's probably going to kill me, but the woman that he was dating before COVID happened, he said the relationship lasted longer because of COVID. That they didn't really officially break up, and they weren't really together, but yet they were. And so they, hi Teresa. She said she was able to date through COVID. Yeah, there was a lot of dating. And I think, my boyfriend had said that he stayed longer with her because of COVID than he really would have any other time, because why break up with her? She they weren't really seeing each other anyway. It was just somebody to talk to, somebody to occasionally hang out with. So I get that. He's going to kill me. But I'm blasting
Oops.
you online, baby. He doesn't care.
But it is a comfort thing. That's the thing. And during COVID, with all the uncertainty and the unknowns, a lot of people are looking like any way they could get through it with some sense of comfort and safety was key. And if they find a warm body to do it with, not so bad.
I think that dating was a whole new ball game during COVID. Relationships were a whole new ball game. I think that a lot of people discovered that they were not with the right person during that time. There were a lot of divorces. I had people get married right before COVID and then were forced to be with each other constantly and realized, wait.
Maybe what did I do?
I just spent a lot of money getting married to this person who, like, I literally had a wedding on March 15th, and then the world shut down, especially here in
Wow.
LA, March 16th. So they went from getting married to being with each other 24/7. Before COVID was over, they were over.
Yeah.
Because they had to spend way too much time together.
Well, the thing is, many people don't really get to know each other fully and spend a lot of intense time together before they get married. In my book, I talk about, if you want to really test the relationship, go away together early in the relationship. Go traveling because you're going to be in each other's company, unknown environments, where basically you have to rely on each other, and you'll know then it makes or breaks if it's going to happen or not.
Yeah. I used to take my dates to Vegas.
What?
That can be scary. It's like you're going to get married in Vegas?
I know.
No, not married. I just wanted to have a quick getaway trip that could be potentially a lot of fucking fun, okay? And see how they behaved, see how they acted. We're forced to be together for 2 or 3 days. And let me tell you something, that taught me a lot.
Exactly.
I will never go to Vegas with somebody I'm only gone on 2 or 3 dates with.
But what would make you say, like, let me just meet this guy and take him to Vegas?
Well, I was dating somebody for a month, and I was taking my daughter and her boyfriend to Vegas because my daughter had a modeling audition, and he invited himself. So he came, and he single-handedly destroyed the entire weekend. It was hell. And then I had this resort that we were staying at because I had a timeshare. I have one in Vegas. And he went to the pool all day and put a shit ton of alcohol and food on the room and chalked up that bill so high. And then every time we went out, he would forget his wallet. So I would have to pay for him. Yeah, it was crazy. And then another time, somebody that I had gone out with a couple of times said, "Hey, I'm going to Vegas for this thing. Do you want to go with me?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, let's go to Vegas." And he was pretty much the same way as the other guy. He constantly, conveniently forgot his wallet, never paid for anything, expected me to pay for, every single time we go to get a Lyft or an Uber, my app isn't working. Is yours? And I was like, this fool is going to piss me off. So it was I bought tickets for us to see a show. And he bitched and complained that it was the worst show ever. And then we get there. He didn't pay for it. He laughed his ass off, had the best time, and then talked constantly after about it was the greatest show. And I was like, but you made my life miserable before we even went there. So dating fucking sucks.
So this is the thing. Going away from your familiar surroundings with the person you've met, ideally you've gotten to know each other a little bit to see if you want to check it out. When you do go away, you're going to discover all the good things, the warts and all about that person. So again, in some ways, cuffing's the same thing. It's just a more extended period of that, just isolating with that person and getting to know them to make or break. And for most people, when they do that, they don't go in with eyes open. So it does tend to end more likely than it extends because they don't have the preparatory skills and knowledge of the other person before they jump into this.
Right. Right. Sad. I mean, hey, if
It's a
people,
choice.
are choosing to be, in this
Mhm.
situation, I think that's great for them if it makes them happy. But I just think it's so sad that we have to turn to these kind of things to feel less lonely or less, more fulfilled in short term, and not be happy with, what's in our life, and finding somebody organically, or even online. It doesn't have to be
Right.
organically. But I guess not everybody is marriage minded or relationship minded or monogamous. It is what it is. We've done a ton
Also,
of podcasts about it.
yeah, well, one of the things I talk about, because I've been passionate about this point, is that people will go seek a personal trainer at the gym to get healthy and fit because they'll get somebody who can show them how to do that, or a nutritionist,
Yeah.
or they go get business,
Mhm.
business. But when it comes to relationships, they don't seek help from anybody. They just
They
go on dates.
should.
So the
Yeah.
thing is, one
No.
of the most important things in your life that you're putting no effort into learning how to do it well. You're hoping that you're
Right.
going to meet somebody by serendipity or through a dating app that matches you, some algorithm.
Mhm.
Well,
There's
and if
something
we can
really
talk
cool
about
about
the
it.
dating apps, I mean, some of these profiles have a lot to be desired. So
Yeah.
there's that. Like, people need to come and seek help so that they can be better daters. And a lot of that
Mhm.
comes into their profile and what they're representing, which,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
I mean,
Yeah, I say profiles. I always tell everybody when anybody asks me about profiles, because they know I have been a serial online dater, you know.
Mhm.
yes.
My daughters are like, "Mom, you're a player." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." But I tell people all the time, look at a profile as if the people are projecting who they want to be. So if
Hmm.
you're looking at it that way, if people are humble and saying, "Oh, I'm just, blah blah blah," great. But if someone's going, "I'm this and I'm that and I la la la," those are people who want to be those things.
Yeah.
They may not necessarily be those things.
Oh yeah.
Or if a girl or a guy is saying, "Oh, I want somebody as this and this," it could be they're projecting have what they really want, but they don't know how to maintain it when they get it.
Mm.
When they get what they want, they don't know how to handle it. It's
Mhm.
overwhelming for them. Someone says they want a strong, independent woman, but then they get one and then they're like, "Oh shit, I don't
They
know
don't
what
know
to
what
do
to
with her."
do.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Story of my life.
mine
Uh-huh.
too.
My boyfriend says, I he's like, one of the best things I like about you is that you are just like like you got balls. You say what you mean what you say, and
Yeah.
you've got an edge to you that is not like, he's like, you look at you look so sweet, you look so innocent. He's like, and you are sweet, and sometimes you are innocent, but majority of the time you just give it. And I'm like,
I believe it.
he gets me.
Yeah.
He gets me. Thank God. Somebody's got to
Finally.
get me. Finally.
That's one of those one of the positive check columns. Like that one's a good one. It's like, yeah,
Yes.
that's key.
Yeah. He
Yes.
says he likes me the way I am and doesn't try to change me. That's
Amen. That's the way to
great.
do it. Yep.
So Barry, tell us about what you are looking to do to help your clients. What are you out there doing these days?
A lot of the work I seem to be doing lately and talking about is really people, again, relationship with themselves. Because again,
Mm,
most of us have been wired, because again, we didn't learn this through school or in studies, that a relationship is about us being the best people we can be for the partner we end up meeting versus trying to find the best partner out there to make us feel better or some other piece of that. So, I mean, I've talked about self-love for years, but really what I'm talking about is almost a form of self-mastery, because it's about
mm,
really mastering our own stuff, healing our own emotional wounds, breaking the patterns and things we learned when we were kids, taking care of ourselves so we choose better. A lot of times we don't
Mm.
choose what we really want because we don't believe we're worthy of it.
Mm.
Cuffing wouldn't be happening if somebody had a lot of
Exactly.
self-love.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah. I see that. That's amazing. So, Barry, you have a best-selling book. What's that called again?
there. called 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. It's on
I
Amazon.
love that it's 50 ways.
50 ways.
50 ways.
And to be transparent, it is 50 principles for a healthy relationship for men and women, couples, and singles. It's not just
That's
50
amazing.
ways to do
I
things in
love
bed.
Ah, darn it. I was gonna no. I'm gonna
50 Shades of Grey, is that what that's for?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get your book and read it. I can't believe I haven't yet. I keep saying I'm going to.
Me too. Barry, we've been on so many clubhouses together,
I
the
know.
3 of us, and I'll get your book. I promise. I'll order it tonight.
I'm gonna have you autograph it for me. Oh,
Since we're not too far apart geographically, I can do that. Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
because we're so close. Actually, I met somebody during a Christmas party that I kept thinking, Barry would really like this woman. And I finally asked her, I said, hey, are you single by choice? Are you single because you're looking or blah? She goes, oh, I'm looking. And I said, how does this handsome man look to you?
Wait,
so-
Barry, you're single?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Barry.
Yeah, so I'm
Barry,
gonna set
Barry.
Barry up.
What does that mean, Jada?
It means Jada's a matchmaker. So I'm like,
Oh. No, and again, to be transparent, because I like being honest and authentic in what I'm talking
Of
about.
course.
I've been single now for 16 years. And most of that time has been because the work I'm doing is put front and center in front of me, the work I do. It also means that because I've done so much work to get to this point, I've been on the personal development field for years, it's hard to date someone who hasn't done some work herself, whatever that work is. In my work, but at least she's got to be, again, self-aware, self-caring, supporting herself emotionally, energetically, so that when we meet, we're not like, I don't feel like I have to counsel her. If I have to coach her, she's no longer dating, she's a client.
Right. I agree. I really liked this woman. I thought she was really kind of together, and I thought, okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
We shall see.
We're gonna go to lunch with Barry's after the new year.
Yes.
We're gonna pass cuffing season, Barry.
Indeed.
Hey, if you want to cuff with her, by all means, cuff away.
No, Barry.
away.
No, Barry's gonna be.
He's self-evolved.
Yeah,
Barry's woke.
Yes, I love it.
I love it. Well, I love having you here, Barry. We have a good time. I'm so glad you came to our holiday party. That was a blast.
I'm so sad I missed it.
I know. What did you wind up going home with on your Christmas, white Christmas or white elephant?
The neck massager thing.
Then did it work?
I had to do some work on it to make it work again. Yeah, I got some.
But it worked.
Well, because the thing is, basically, the batteries are all like, rotted inside, so take it all apart. And clean it out. So,
well, I went to thrift stores and like secondhand stores to buy everything. So I was like, God, I hope this thing works. But you got it working now?
Yeah.
See, he doesn't need to cuff with somebody.
He doesn't need to cuff. He's got a massager. He's fine.
I got a massager.
Like a neck pillow type thing. I'm like, that's not quite the same thing as a partner.
No. My boyfriend got me a Hypervolt for Christmas. It's those really incredible industrial like massagers that target specific muscles, because I've got a lot of like IT band problems, and he got me that for Christmas. He's like, when I'm not here, you can use this. I'm like, it's a massager. I'm sure I'll be using it in many ways. So indeed, Jada, thanks for co-hosting with me again. I love you, and Barry, thank you again for coming to be here. I love having you. I'm going to think of other reasons to have you back because you're so fun. And you laugh at my jokes, so it helps.
Oh, that's
yeah. To everybody who comes and listens every week, we really appreciate you. We're going to be here again next time, same time, same place next week. Next week is about a guy who moved all the way across the country to be with a woman, and then she breaks his heart and he's abandoned in this new town. Wow. So we're gonna talk to him, and he talks about how she's a narcissist, and I'm like, I can't wait to hear a guy's point of view from that side. And I'm super excited. His name is Christian. He's going to be here next week. So hopefully you guys can come back and join us. And thank you all for being here today.
You.
And until next week, keep it
Bye.
real.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.